My name is Leonard Scarcella. I'm the mayor of Stafford, and I have a distinct honor and privilege today of welcoming Mr. Mark Winchester, who is the Deputy Director of the Small Business Association for the Houston area, who is going to provide us with a presentation on how all of the small businesses can make application and do what is necessary to the potential of obtaining a grant and or a loan for funding for the small business fund that you've been hearing about and seeing on television all the way from the president on down. So we anxiously await Mr. Winchester's comments. We so again appreciate him taking from his critical day, and especially under these circumstances, to address this most important issue.
My name is Mark Winchester, and I'm the Deputy District Director of the United States Small Business Administration. First, I need to say thank you very much to the Mayor of Stafford, and also to City Council Member, City of Stafford, Ms. Alice Chen. Thank you for keeping SBA top of mind and inviting me here today to talk about our Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program and also our Paycheck Protection Program. Today's agenda includes non-monetary assistance from SBA and our partners, financial assistance from SBA for small businesses and nonprofits, and then thirdly, would like to talk about additional resources. I cannot emphasize enough that you need to go to www.sba.gov/tx/Houston. Once there, you want to go to coronavirus or COVID-19. Once there, you will find our presentation there. You'll find a list of webinars related to SBA's response to COVID-19, and also a list of local lenders that are participating with SBA and perhaps will be participating with the Paycheck Protection Program. Now, I'd like to discuss with you or share with you about non-monetary assistance. Important non-monetary assistance from SBA. SBA has 3 local resource partners, and they include Texas Gulf Coast SBDC, also known as the Small Business Development Center, SCORE, who provides mentoring to businesses with over 160 volunteers, and the SBDC, they have over 75 full-time paid business counselors. And we also have the Women's Business Center. The program manager for the Women's Business Center is Ms. Shirley Brooks. And the Women's Business Center provides one-on-one business counseling to women business owners. Now, does that mean that they don't counsel men? They do. They do counsel men who own a business, but their primary purpose is to meet one-on-one with women business owners. Now, these partners provide a wide range of help during the downturn, this downturn, including cash flow management, short-term financial management, messaging, branding, social media, and that messaging and branding could be both for suppliers and customers. They also provide assistance with import-export, supply chain management, strategic planning, and financial tune-up. Maybe you need to know or determine what is your financial condition of your business, and these partners can assist with that. Also, these resource partners can assist with planning for further disasters. It's not a matter of if or when, it's about a matter of, are you prepared for the next hurricane or storm? And that can include risk management and insurance counseling. Their contact information includes the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center, the Houston Score and their website, the Women's Business Center, and also the United States Small Business Administration. For SBA, when you visit our website, you will want to sign up for email updates, for bulletin notices, for newsletters, for press releases, for news releases. You'll want to sign up at the SBA website. You'll also want to follow us on Twitter at SBA_Houston. Now, I would like to talk about financial assistance for small business, agriculture firms, and nonprofits, as well as faith-based organizations. The CARES Act, you may have heard some information about a stimulus package. This was signed in law Friday, March 27th. SBA policy regarding the CARES Act was issued late April 2nd. You should react and read this particular act. We cannot, SBA, offer legal interpretation of the act. We cannot comment on the portions of the act unrelated to SBA. The complete CARES Act is located at congress.gov/bill/116th Congress. And then you'll want to go to the House bill, and the House bill in this particular rate is Bill 748. Under the CARES Act, you will want to review Section 1102, Paycheck Protection Program, 1106, Loan Forgiveness, Section 1110, Emergency EIDL Grants, and that's the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. I would be remiss if I did not share with you as well regarding forbearance of your existing SBA loan. There may be some of you that have an SBA microloan, and you can get a deferral on that microloan, or we also call it deferment. You can get a deferment on that microloan for up to 6 months. 504 and 7A. 504 in particular, 6 months or 20% of the original amount, whichever is less. 7A program can be up to 6 consecutive months of deferment. And if your loan is sold to the secondary market, up to 90 days. And there may be some of you that have had a disaster loan from SBA from the past, either from Hurricane Ike, from the Tax Day flood, from the Memorial Day flood, from Hurricane Harvey, and you're making payments on that existing disaster loan. Well, we at SBA, we want to let you know that if you have an existing disaster loan, SBA will be deferring all existing loan payments through December 31st, 2020. Borrowers of home and business disaster loans do not have to contact SBA to request deferment. Important items in the CARES Act. SBA will be paying your existing 7A loan if loan started before February 15th for 6 months. Principal, interest, and any associated fees if the loan is in a regular servicing status. SBA will pay the first loan payment within 30 days of the first payment due after March 27th, 2020. So what I just want to reiterate here is if you have a current existing 7A loan, a non-disaster loan, and you obtain the loan prior to February 15th, SBA is going to begin making payments on your SBA 7A loan for 6 months, and that will include principal, interest, and associated fees. If the lender receives payment from the borrower after March 27th, you'll have the option of either the lender returning your payment or having it applied in addition to the SBA payment. Passage of the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security, also known as the CARES Act. It gives businesses 2 loan choices. The first choice is called the Paycheck Protection Program, also known as PPP. This loan is from an existing SBA lender, and here in Houston we have over 200 SBA lenders. But it must be an SBA lender that participates in the PPP program. Number 2, You'll also have the option to pursue an economic injury disaster loan, also known as EIDL loan. This loan is directly from the federal government, from SBA. And there are two important facts or two additional items that I need to share with you. One, you need to be a business that was affected by the coronavirus. And two, you need to be an eligible business. An eligible business includes meeting SBA size standard, and I will share about this also. Faith-based eligibility. Faith-based organizations, including houses of worship, are now eligible to receive SBA loans under the PPP and the EIDL programs. Churches and related institutions qualify for PPP and EIDL loans as long as they meet the requirements under Section 501c3 and also 501d in the case of the EIDL loan for faith-based organizations. Organizations must be small. If in doubt, check SBA size standard. Where can you go? www.sba.gov/size. Once there, you'll want to visit our table size standards. Now, I would like to talk to you more specifically about the economic injury disaster loan. Also known as EIDL, this loan is up to $2 million, no payments for 12 months, interest rate is 3 3/4 interest rate for small business, and 2 3/4% interest rate for private nonprofits. Long-term repayment ability up to 30 years. This EIDL loan is available for small businesses, small ag cooperatives, and private nonprofits, as well as faith-based organizations. It may be used for fixed debts, payroll, accounts payable, and other bills affected by the disaster, and may be approved solely on the applicant's credit score. Additional EIDL details. There is no cost to apply. There is no cost to apply for the economic injury disaster loan. Likewise, there's no obligation to take this loan if offered. Amount is determined by SBA from your information. Existing SBA disaster or business loans do not make you ineligible. Personal guarantee requirements. If the EIDL loan is less than $200,000, there is no personal guarantee. If over $200,000, then the guarantee from all those who have 20% interest or greater in the business will need to guarantee the loan. Now, for faith-based organizations and nonprofits, especially for nonprofit organizations, they don't have individual owners. So for those entities such as nonprofits and faith-based organizations where you don't have individual owners, those loan amounts, EIDL loan amount, $200,000 and greater, there is no personal guarantee as well. Collateral. And collateral, all that means is assets. If the EIDL loan is over $25,000, the EIDL does require collateral. SBA will not decline for lack of collateral, but requires the pledge of what is available. EIDL does not require primary residence in Texas. What is the time period to apply? You have until December 31st, 2020 for those affected small businesses to request an EIDL. The EIDL advancement is up to $10,000. Eligibility is determined by self-certification. Payment should occur within 3 days. Repayment is not required even if subsequently denied a loan. Advance may be used for any purpose described in Section 7B of United States Code 15636B2. And I need to provide clarification. This is in regards to the EIDL advance, also known as EIDL grant, and this EIDL advancement is available until December 31st, 2020. Now, the advance may be used for the following purposes: paid employee sick leave, payroll to retain employees, increased cost to obtain materials, rent or mortgage payments, and obligations that cannot be met due to revenue losses. How to apply? You can go on your iPhone utilizing Safari. You can utilize your Android phone and utilize Chrome. You can utilize your PC and utilize Internet Explorer or Microsoft Edge. The website for applying for EIDL, also known as Economic Injury Disaster Loan, is www.sba.gov/disaster. Once there, you want to click on Apply. You may also contact the SBA Disaster Customer Service Center at 800-659-2955 and also Disaster Customer Service at sba.gov. And for the hearing impaired, you can also call 800-877-8339. Now, in regards to the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, and once you click on Apply, there's going to be the Streamlined Disaster Loan Assistance, which has 5 sections: the disclosure, business information, business owner information, additional information, and summary. Who are the eligible entities that may apply for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan? It could be a business with not more than 500 employees. It could include sole proprietorships with or without employees, independent contractors. It could be a cooperative with no more than 500 employees. It could be an employee stock ownership plan. It could be also a small business concern described under 15 United States Code with not more than 500 employees. It could be a business including an agricultural cooperative, an aquaculture enterprise, nursery, or producer cooperative that is small under SBA size standards. The applicant could also be a business with more than 500 employees that is small under SBA size standards. And as I mentioned before, an applicant could be a private nonprofit, and those entities defined by IRS, including 501c, D, or E. Also, when you're applying for the EIDL loan, the applicant must review and check all the following. If an applicant is unable to check all of the following, the applicant is not eligible and is not an eligible entity. So this is the criteria. Applicant cannot be engaged in an illegal activity. Applicant with 50% greater ownership cannot be more than 60 days delinquent on child support. Applicant cannot be an agricultural enterprise such as a farm, other than an aquaculture enterprise, agricultural cooperative, or nursery. Applicant does not present live performances of a purulent sexual nature. Applicant does not derive more than 1/3 gross annual revenues from a legal gambling activity. Applicant is not in the business of lobbying. And applicant cannot be a state, local, or municipal government entity and cannot be a member of commerce. Business information. Business information includes legal name, trade name, EIN, SSN, organizational type, checking for nonprofits, indicating that you're a nonprofit or franchise. Now, I will also mention to you regarding business information under the EIDL application that everything that has an asterisk or a red bar, you need to complete. You also, for nonprofits, you can include cost of operation for the 12 months prior to January 31st. It can also include combined annual operating expenses for the 12 months prior to January 31st for all secular social services provided by a faith-based organization. Page 2 of business information includes you need to indicate if you have received income elsewhere, another source of income as a result of the disaster. You also need to provide a brief description of the other compensation. You also need to include business address, city, state, zip code, also business email, business phone number, date business established, current ownership since, business activity. All this information needs to be included under business information for the economic injury disaster loan. Owner information. So in addition to business information, you also need to include owner information. And I get it, for those entities such as a nonprofit or a faith-based organization, you don't have individual owners. So in that situation, if you're a faith-based or a religious organization, put the CEO or the pastor of the organization. Also, for those businesses where there's owners that have 20% or more interest in the company, the EIDL business information and owner information, it allows you to add additional owners. Also, the next section under additional information, you need to indicate if the business or the owner that they've been convicted of a criminal offense committed during and in connection with a riot or civil disorder or other declared disaster, or even been engaged in the production or distribution of any product or service that has been determined to be obscene by a court of competent jurisdiction. And then also, is the applicant or any listed owner currently suspended or debarred? Also, are you presently the subject of an indictment, criminal information, arraignment, or other means by which formal criminal charges have been brought in any jurisdiction? Have you been arrested in the past 6 months for any criminal offense? For any criminal offense other than a minor vehicle violation, have you ever been convicted, pled guilty, pled nolo contendere, been placed or on pretrial diversion, or have been placed on any form of parole or probation, including probation before judgment? Likewise, under the additional information, if someone has assisted you in the application, this is where you're going to put their contact information. Page 2 of additional information. This is where, if you're interested in the economic injury disaster loan advancement, you will select the toggle that indicates I would like to be considered for an advance up to $10,000. I need to emphasize here that the advancement is not $10,000, it is up to $10,000, and it takes into consideration such as payroll, rent, utilities, and other debts by the business. Likewise, if you want to receive the EIDL advancement, also known as grant, under the CARES Act, you also need to provide your bank account information. After applying, there's the loan processing decision, and this includes verifying credit, determining the EIDL amount. A loan officer will contact you. Decision will normally take up to 4 weeks. If the loan closes and funds dispersed, the documents will be signed and the loan documents provided. Initial disbursement of $25,000. This doesn't include the up to $10,000 advance within 5 days of the closing of the documents. And you'll be contacted by a case manager who will be assigned to you to assist you along the rest of the way. Important final notes about EIDL. If more funds are needed, you can submit supporting documents and request an increase. If less funds are needed, you can request a reduction. If denied, you get 6 months to provide a written reconsideration. And if denied a second time, you can get additional 30 days to appeal. Please, I can't emphasize enough, please complete and submit everything that is required. Now, I'd like to talk to you about the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Loan Program. It's intended to help small businesses with payroll and other operating expenses. SBA will forgive the portion of the loan proceeds used to cover the 8 weeks of payroll cost, rent, utilities, and mortgage interest. Eligibility. Small business affected by COVID-19 with less than 500 employees, including sole proprietorships, private nonprofits, 501c19 veteran organizations, independent contractors, self-employed persons. Certain businesses may have more than 500 employees if they meet the SBA size standard. Hospitality and food industry businesses with more than one location, they could be eligible at the store and location level if the store employs less than 500 workers. This means each store location could be eligible. Loan details. How long is the PPP loan? The loan is for a maturity of 2 years with an interest rate of 1%. Payments are deferred for 6 months. No collateral or personal guarantee required. Let me repeat that. No collateral or personal guarantee is needed for the PPP. Also, I need to emphasize that this loan is 100% guarantee. With a 7A and 504, the guarantee can be anywhere from 50% to 90%. But for the Paycheck Protection Program, it is a guarantee of 100% by SBA. There's also a forgiveness component to the Paycheck Protection Program. The forgiveness is as follows. It's based on the employer maintaining or quickly rehiring employees and maintaining salary level. This forgiveness period begins 8 weeks after the closing of the PPP. The PPP will be reduced if full-time headcount declines or if salaries and wages decrease. Fully forgiven if the funds are used for payroll cost, interest on mortgages, rent, and utilities. To have this forgiven period of 8 weeks, at least 75% of the forgiven amount must have been used for payroll. This is the purpose of the Paycheck Protection Program, is to secure those employees by the employer and that the employer has the funds necessary to keep those employees. How do you apply for the Paycheck Protection Program? You apply through existing SBA 7A lenders. For the EIDL loan, that is a direct loan with the Office of Disaster Assistance online. But for the Paycheck Protection Program, you go to a local lender that participates in SBA and is participating in the Paycheck Protection Program. Lenders have begun processing applications as of April 3rd, 2020. Please check with your existing lender. And you can find a list of SBA lenders at www.sba.gov/tx/Houston. There are approximately 5 pages to the Paycheck Protection Program application, including indicating your legal structure, your legal name, address, and also determining your monthly payroll, and then multiplying that times 2.5 times, and indicating the number of employees. It also includes indicating each owner or listing each owner who has 20% interest or more, and then answering some questions, including whether the applicant has been debarred, suspended, or whether they obtained a direct loan from SBA or other federal agency, and whether they're delinquent on that loan in the last 7 years. Also, is the applicant or applicant of any owner of any other business have common management with any other business? What they're looking for here is affiliation, and they're looking at those owners who have 20% or more interest affiliation in another business. Has the applicant received an SBA economic injury disaster loan between January 31st, 2020 and April 3rd? If yes, please provide details. There are additional questions regarding the owners who have an interest of 20% or more to determine whether they've been indicted, criminal information, arraignment. They also want to know if any of those owners who own 20% or more have had a felony. Also, under the PPP program, they want to know, is the United States the principal place of residence for all the employees of the applicant included in the application? And is the applicant a franchise that is listed in the SBA franchise directory. Also be aware, as an owner, you will also need to certify and authorize the SBA in approximately 9 certifications. And you'll want to review those certifications, and those certifications will be important in order to apply for the PPP. This includes, has the applicant been in operation on February 15th? Do current economic uncertainty make the loan request necessary? Will the funds be used to retain workers and maintain payroll? Will the applicant provide to the lender documentation verifying the number of employees? Do you understand the loan forgiveness will be provided for the sum of documented payroll cost? During the period during February 15th and ending on December 31st, the applicant has not and will not receive another loan under the Paycheck Protection Program. Documents needed for the Paycheck Protection Program. Borrowers must submit documentation to establish eligibility, including payroll tax filings, sole proprietorships, 1099s. For borrowers that do not have documentation, you must provide other supporting documentation, such as bank records, and sufficient to demonstrate the qualifying payroll amount. Non-SBA additional info. See your existing bank. Have them provide information on whether or not they have additional non-SBA programs. They may offer a bridge loan. They may offer an SBA Express bridge loan. People Fund and Lift Fund have their own coronavirus programs. The Texas Restaurant Association has a grant program. The Galveston EDA has a short-term loan program. You'll want to do your research. I can't emphasize enough the resources that SBA offers, including the SBDC, Houston SCORE, Women's Business Center, and the United States Small Business Administration. These services are confidential and free. They are paid because of your tax dollars. Please be aware of small business scam and fraud schemes. Be aware that the presence of an SBA logo on a web page or correspondence does not guarantee the information is from SBA. Also, any communication that you receive that's claiming is from SBA, guess what? The email address must end in .gov. If you're getting an email that has an SBA logo and the email address does not end in .gov, it is not from SBA, and you'll want to avoid these small business scams and fraud schemes. I also need to share with you that SBA limits the fees that a broker can charge for your assistance in either the EIDL or PPP. And I can't emphasize enough that the SBDC, SCORE, and Women's Business Center do not charge for their services. Please report any suspected fraud to the SBA's Office of Inspector General's office at 800-767-0385. Now, I'd like to take a moment and to review some FAQs. Where do I get a copy of the PowerPoint? Please visit us at www.sba.gov/tx/Houston. Where can I get a list of lenders that participate in the SBA program, who I can contact to find out if they participate in the Paycheck Protection Program? You can visit our website. What banks are offering the PPP? You want to get started by looking at the SBA lenders, and you want to get started by contacting your financial institution where you do business. Can I check status on the application? You'll want to check status on your application on the EIDL Economic Injury Disaster Loan at 800-659-2955. And for the PPP, you're going to be working with your local lender. Are EIDL loans forgiven? The Economic Injury Disaster Loan is not forgiven Only the advance amount up to $10,000 is forgiven. Can I apply for the EIDL and PPP both? Yes. However, you cannot duplicate cost. Which loan should I apply for? Each business is different. Our network of local free resources can help. I have already submitted my EIDL application. Can I submit for the PPP loan? Yes. Just don't duplicate cost. If payroll was on EIDL, you must refinance. You must refinance the EIDL into the PPP. I have already submitted my EIDL application, but didn't get the advance. I need to make this clear. If you submitted the EIDL application by uploading documents pertaining to EIDL, then yes, you'll want to go to www.sba.gov/disaster and complete the streamline application. But if you've already completed the streamline application, but you have not heard back, please do not submit your application again. For EIDL loan questions, it's 800-659-2955 or disaster customer service at sba.gov. For the status on the PPP loan, contact your SBA lender. And where can you find those SBA lenders? At www.sba.gov/tx/Houston. This concludes the presentation regarding the Economic Injury Disaster Loan and the Paycheck Protection Program. Once again, I want to thank the mayor for the city of Stafford, and also I'd like to thank City Council member Ms. Alice Chen, and I turn it over to them right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Winchester, for that most enlightening and informative presentation. I encourage everyone to watch not only on SME TV, but you can catch this through streaming. All you have to do is call City Hall, and we will tell you how you can make sure you get a full copy of this and all information related to it. But again, our deepest appreciation to Mr. Winchester for this truly outstanding presentation, and for him taking from his most busy day at this time, not only of the year, but especially in view of the extreme circumstances which we're encountering, to inform the business people of Stafford and surrounding areas about what's available to them with this outstanding program. Thank you, Mr. Winchester.